my name is Cornhorn, and I am friends with Imrahil, 8 Converion, damn username, and the Great Flying Chicken.
Well,
Today,
just
I am
wait
going to
for
be evaluating
Chris
the
invite somebody
prospects
who
of
could actually hold the
turtling, a
spot
very,
and get
very,
here.
very curious
Okay, we're just
strategy
waiting
in
for
which
Imrahil to
one
log in.
enemy tends
Fine.
to sit
Ah.
and quite
Oh, good. I get
like
to
the
Imra.
title
Oh,
presumes,
shit, my friend
turtle
list.
and
Is
move
anyone's
very,
friends
very
list working?
slowly around the map, if at all.
Mine is.
Today, I am
Can
joined
you
by my
find
friend,
Imrahil? 'Cause
the Nox
I don't know what's
Master,
going on
Kyle
with
Gus.
mine again.
Hello, Gus.
There's two different
Hey, how's it
Imrahils here,
going?
so just add both of them.
How has the alpha been for you
Now
so
there's
far?
One's a pretender.
It's
Yeah,
been a lot of
actually,
fun
each
with
one
a
on
few
that one.
frustrations, but mostly fun, interesting learning new ships and
Very
trying
good.
different things each time.
What is the ship that you prefer the most so far?
So, in this last couple alpha sessions, I've been mostly playing the Nox, and it's been interesting as you unlock more abilities and get to do more different things with it. It's definitely a fun ship to play.
Yeah, I'm guessing that you probably have noticed that the Nox is a lot easier to defend yourself with, as corvettes coming in cannot take advantage of the limited
Am I right?
sphere of firing power as the Svarog.
Do you want Monarch or Semi?
Yeah, it's funny. A lot of
actually,
Corvette pilots don't actually know that.
Okay, I'm back.
At least ones that I've been playing against. They try and come up from behind you and just
Talking
get
about anything I don't
annihilated
care.
because you just turn around and your guns are facing them and they die. So, yeah, if you play Corvettes and you see a Nox, don't try and go at them unless you have
You
lots
ready
of
to launch?
cover.
Yeah, I bet that
they
Dogeneer
just
would
both
be
leave?
very, very frustrated going up against
Goddamn
you.
idiots, be right back.
The other thing that really helps is the dive ability and bomb catapult, because you dive faster than they can and your bombs from the bomb catapult come up, and as soon as they're in proximity of the ship, go off. So it's basically an instant kill every time someone comes at you in a Corvette.
Yeah, it's definitely been interesting, as this, particularly in this alpha session, the latest alpha session, when they reset everyone's progression and integrated a new progression system that makes it a little bit more fluid as far as being able to pick out the things that you want for the particular ships that you want, so that you can make sure that your abilities and your officer perks line up more precisely with what your preferences are.
Okay, we're ready.
So
Exactly.
let's get down to business. What were the biggest things that you noticed about the point differences between the two teams in the match that we're about to evaluate?
He wants a destroyer that can do more on.
You mean the score difference?
Yes.
And sucks against.
It was ridiculous. Like, I haven't seen. I'll be honest. I've never seen matches that lopsided.
Monarch.
Usually, the team that loses gets at least one kill, but that lopsided is. It's not even sad. It's funny.
So I plan on ramming Dreadnoughts.
Yeah, the team definitely showed itself to be quite poorly equipped to be able to do a turtling type strategy successfully.
No, they've almost
And
absolutely.
And the one thing that I think played one of the biggest parts with this match is that the other team picked a very, very poor location, because they I mean, on this map it's dry dock. You got a few places where you can get all 5 of your ships nestled into a valley in between 2 bodies of either ice or rock facing facing the rest of the map, and you got all these places, but they choose to just sit in their spawn
Wait for them.
and which leaves
Glaciers.
them
Same
very,
exact
very
formation,
open
Koshi's
from
hiding right in the
multiple
little
points
crevasse
of
we got in last
access
fight.
to
Really,
attack
they're
them
doing that
from.
again?
That's
Really?
exactly where he is.
Yeah, it's almost like they
Amazing.
they chose to give more cover to their opponents than they chose to take.
Every time we have to move, while they barely move the
Yeah, and I think the most
this is
entertaining
Well,
part,
I mean,
as you're
that's
about to see in
inherently
a
stupid
couple
and-
minutes, is how with Imrahil is able to just nestle behind
Actually,
the
I
left
can
skyscraper
use the
and
left
later on
skyscraper as cover,
nestle into the valley
and
right behind this rock face
you
here,
can
just
interrupt
on
their
the
line of
little
sight
bit on the left
to,
side
the
of
most
center.
forward
And so
so that the Koshi can't heal them.
take us through the ship descriptions, the ships that everybody is running at this point.
Oh, I missed.
Fizzle.
Sure. So Emmerhill, the
Okay,
one that's
somebody
recording
has,
this video, or whose point of view you're seeing in the video, is running a Koshai tactical cruiser.
Like Darkus, you have
Wivrias
Darkus?
is running a Vulcan destroyer.
The Renegade.
Locrium is running a Renegade destroyer. Adaventer is running the Svarog artillery
A couple
cruiser.
witches.
And Fallen Ganner is running a Zime dreadnought.
Koshi comes close.
Koshi's gone behind.
Okay,
the
so
left.
as Imrahil's team
Yeah.
gets closer in proximity with the enemy
It's just
here,
the one they have.
you'll notice
Pretty sure it
the
could-
thing that in the
Gonna
few
try and spin
seconds
him
of the
around.
initial contact with the
Yeah,
enemy
focus fire on him.
is that energy management is very, very
Where'd he go?
poorly handled on the part
On
of
the other
the
side of
team
the-
that Imrahil and his team
I
is
am doing
facing,
so stupid.
as
Try to get him.
You c-
one second. What's the name of
Got the nuke.
Koshi down.
the guy?
Well, that's gonna
Everyone
be
talk
picnic.
amongst yourselves as I scramble to look through my notes here.
one down.
No clue what he said.
Alright, approach ramp Dogma.
Alright, here you can
Okay,
see
what's else
energy
on the screen?
management comes into play as Locrium is able to purge
Welcome
ram
to
Dogma, one of their
Welcome.
dreadnoughts, and within a few seconds he is
Not
taken
dive,
down
climb. If you dive, you live. You die.
you're down to probably not much more than 1,000
Go back, go back.
structural integrity, which makes him easy prey for the rest of the DPSs, namely
That's very
Wivrius
incredible,
and
Chris.
Fallen, to come in and destroy their energy reserves. Alright, and let's pause the video here.
What's your timestamp?
Mine's 8:12. What's yours?
Oh, mine was all screwed up. That's why I was asking.
Oh, really? What happened?
I wasn't sure when you started it, like when you started the recording or whatever. So
Oh, how far behind were you or ahead?
I was like 3 minutes ahead.
Oh, yeah. Oops, sorry. I meant to say to start your video when I started the recording on that countdown.
No worries.
All right. Well, we can fix that later. All right. So, are you around 8:12 right now?
I'm at 8:12.
Okay. So let's continue. So let's see here. So after that purge ram by Locrium on Dogma, it is exactly. Let's see here. It is exactly. Gosh. Where is it? Oh wait, crap! I should get my notepad here. Let's see here. Where is it? Good thing that this is just the rough draft. Okay. Okay, so after Locrium gets his Purge Ram in on Dogma, it is exactly 44 seconds from the first kill to the last kill in this round. Now, as we stated earlier, the location that the enemy team decided to take was quite advantageous to Imriel's team. What were your biggest observations as far as the enemy's location versus Imrahil's team's location?
So you see right off the bat, Imrahil's team starts to go high. No one even tries to use cover. They just get as high as they can looking for the enemy. And the complete opposite of that is what the enemy team does. They stay low, they try and stay hidden. And I mean, they both can have their valid points if you're not turtling, because going high, you get the vantage point and you take the initiative. Your team is saying, look, here we are, we're coming at you. Staying low, you're trying to avoid contact, you're trying to surprise the enemy. And they're both perfectly valid strategies. It's just when you try and turtle with staying low that you're really going to start having problems. Because when you don't know the map, like it seems these people they're playing against don't, you don't know where to go, you don't know what you're doing, so you just stay in your spawn. And you end up giving the enemy way better cover than they should have coming out.
Yeah, and as you notice, after Dogma is taken out, Dogma is actually kind of the tip of the spear of their formation. And as soon as he dies, then the middle of their formation is completely open, leaving Wivrius to run around two isolated segments of the team. And because of that, and because of the fact that they didn't just take out one of the dreadnoughts right off the bat upon virtually, within about 60 seconds of initial contact with the enemy, their Koshi goes down, and that brings into play energy management, which because now that they don't have someone constantly healing them, they can't divert as much power to weapons or to other things that could help them survive as well as deal damage more.
Right, and what surprised me was how fast after he purge rammed, he didn't die. It surprised me that he's in the middle of them and they don't all focus fire him. They're still firing at other targets. It seems like there's very little coordination on the enemy team for target management.
And that is one reason why, if you're an alpha tester or the upcoming beta testers, then it's important to get on the Discord server. Like you, myself, Imrahil, 8 Converion, Damn Username, and Crazy Flying Chicken have been doing as well. So just wanted to put that little plug in there. If you're going to be testing out the game, there is a Discord server set up for us free of charge that all of us can use while we're playing in the testing sessions. So let's go ahead and start the video again at 8:12, moving forward. So Imrahil's team decides that they really want to go in for the kill here. They really want to put a beat down on this enemy because they are confident. They saw how quickly they were able to take them down. As I said, it was only 44 seconds between the first kill and the last kill. Walk us through an adjustment that Locrium makes to try to add a little bit more punch.
So Locrium switches from his Renegade Destroyer to Invictus Dreadnought, and it seems like it might give them more punch, but it actually ends up taking them longer to kill the enemy team this time around. Not by much. I should say not by a significant margin, but It
Right.
does end up taking
Okay,
them a
like
little bit
everything
longer
super
this time
pressing
around with the
W.
Dreadnought.
Maybe the keyboard bugged out like mine did.
Yes,
It probably
yes.
has, yeah.
It definitely seemed as if giving up
Close is
a
more
little
than
bit
right
of that
this time.
mobility that he had with his
I'm running Armor
Renegade
Invictus, so I need
definitely
to,
hurt them. But
just
as
run it and
turtling,
take a lot of
as
damage
we
and
have
just be
said,
vulnerable.
turtling is
Don't go
obviously
too
not
deep.
the best strategy,
What?
and as such,
go
it
too deep without
still
getting
doesn't
into
really
Well, yeah,
take
yeah,
them
not too deep.
that much longer.
Focus
By
now
my
on
calculations,
Dread nuke,
from the
dread nuke.
first kill to the last kill in
Zombie.
this second round is just
just
a
press
little
W.
over 54 seconds, right around that amount of time. So only 14 seconds
Oh,
longer, which in Dreadnought terms is not
I
saying
think
much.
they fired a light nuclear.
No, it's not.
I've got vultures on him, but
Okay, as you can see here, by now, Wivrius has successfully anti-nuked about 4
Oh, did they
enemy
fire something
Dreadnought
else?
nukes, as
No,
the
the light nuclear
Turtlers
missile.
have finally
Yeah,
realized that their
nuke lasers.
strategy is not
Okay.
working
Yeah,
and they need to
please say
attempt
your
to do
name.
some
Classic.
damage.
Please
But
say your name.
as as
Yeah.
Wivrius displays with his anti-nuke lasers, even just
Okay,
this
I'm going for the Koshi.
simple, very, very
Float,
desperate
control pie.
attempt to
know.
cause more damage right on the forefront is not very effective, as
So,
all of the
Oh.
Dreadnought nukes
Wait,
are
wait, what?
immediately
Patriots, where is?
extinguished. And talk, how have you
Amplifying.
seen cooldown times
Yeah,
play
this could
into
just
how
help me out.
poorly or well a team does?
So managing cooldowns is
So many
really
people.
important, and it's definitely far more important in team elimination than it is in team deathmatch. Because in team deathmatch, you die and you come back with all your abilities reset. So you can launch nukes for days. All it costs is a death. And if you can kill 4 people with 1 death,
Wow.
hey, great trade. But in team elimination, you've got to be a lot more careful.
No.
That minute 30-second timer
Don't
you
die
just set
yet,
off,
don't die.
yeah, that's a whole minute and 30 seconds
I'm
that
fine.
that huge damage is gone.
I thought you
Whereas
were
if they had
right.
taken
Just
like
like
plasma
one
broadside, they
there
could have
was
used it
one of the
over and over and over.
Just plasma ramming everyone.
And if they had decided to launch 1 nuke and let the anti-nuke laser do its
That
thing,
was probably the
and then
smartest
launch the
game
rest of their nukes,
that the
they could have been much more effective.
Yeah, so an important lesson
That
for those of
was
you who
beautiful,
have
actually.
been able to play Dreadnought so far very much,
Proper fist
or
flying
not
around the
at
team.
all.
Game over.
One thing to
It
remember
was-
is
I
that
don't
you
think
always
I've
got to
seen
be
single
careful
executable
about when you use your abilities, because when if you use your ability 1 second as
Oh, right,
opposed to
one,
30
but that one
seconds
wasn't
later, it
executing.
can have a huge impact, as the enemy team will not be very able to defend against you, because they will
Who's
now be
Walker
dealing
in?
with their own cooldown
They'll be
times
fine.
of the anti-nuke
I just
laser.
have 2 different names.
And it will be really
I'm just trying
interesting
to
to
think of
see
ways to
how
beat
the
the
game
Koshi
develops as
besides
far
plasma.
as teams being able
Well,
to coordinate
there's-
their
I mean, most
abilities
people are
to,
running-
say, use anti-nuke lasers to defend against Dreadnought nukes in
Which coach?
this kind of
Now,
scenario.
First thing you'd have to say is which
Absolutely.
was there's a world
Okay.
of difference between like what I'm running, for example, and what I think most other people
So,
are running.
in review,
Because
the
as far
average
as I go,
time from first
very few
death
people
to
actually like the
elimination
energy
for
generator,
both
and I like
rounds
kind of
is
completely makes the whole
insert
game
figure. I'll get that later.
different.
And
Like you need 2 plasma
the
rings to keep-
combined score differential overall is very, very staggering. Tally the points up and do the math, you're looking at an overwhelming point differential, as Imrahil's team scored 9,480 to the enemy's 3,670. That being almost 400% of a difference. Not to mention 0 deaths for the friendly Koshi and Imrahil, which is excellent, an excellent thing. As I'm sure, Kyle, I mean, how many times have you seen a team with a Koshi that does not let their Koshi die a single time perform against other teams?
I think only when I've seen devs play.
As anyone would have died if it would be me.
So almost never.
Because so far every plasma ram killed you.
So, in review, turtling is just not a good strategy because energy management is extremely difficult when you're only running one Koshi with 4 dreadnoughts, as we saw with the Purge Ram and
No,
Plasma
I'm pretty
Ram
sure
that
most
just
people are
ate
just
through the
really bad at
shields
fucking boosting their
of
plasma ramps and they're
Emerald
doing it for a
Hills-
long time.
Emerald
I don't
Hills
even
enemy
use mine,
team,
I still
and
still kill you
then
crazy.
later
Well,
on
plasma ramps
in
don't one-shot Koshi,
the
it's mostly weapon boosting.
rounds,
Even
the
if
lack
they
of the
don't kill
Koshi,
you.
because of the fact
Well,
that they were just sitting
No,
around in the
actually,
middle of
really,
nowhere
he's
virtually,
shield at
their Koshi was
100%.
very, very
I
open to
killed the
enemy
last
fire,
5% with my flex.
and ultimately they were taken out
Well,
almost without a
exactly, it
fight.
shouldn't one-shot them. It should put them to about like.
So, for those of you that like to just sit around and sit
And I
there
don't
and
even
let the
use my
enemy
weapons because
hammer
it
on
makes a
you,
difference
as
when
they said, be
you use the
warned,
weapons until
as your
it's the same
turtle
damage
shell will
in
not
the
be
I
intact
posted a link
for very long, no matter
in
what
general.
your Koshi is trying to do for you.
To
And
define
in
their,
that fact, that terrifying fact of the turtle cracking open and how disturbing it could be for the little children, I will hand things back over to our very capable host, Imrahil, and also want to take some time to thank our friend Kyle Gus for joining us today on Dreadnought Alpha Strike.
Thanks for having me.